Most folks these days think catching a cheater is all about snooping through phones or computers, but honestly, that's not how it usually goes down. And there are two big reasons why. First, anyone who's halfway smart about cheating knows how to cover their digital tracks. Second, most husbands or wives, myself included, aren't walking around suspecting their spouse of anything, so why would they go hunting for proof that isn't there? I speak from experience because, yeah, I was one of those clueless guys who thought my beautiful wife, Nora, would never betray me. Turns out, I was dead wrong, and looking back, I must have had blinders on because I never saw a single red flag in our marriage. My name's Lars Johansson, 39, from Scandinavia. I work in planning and admin for the biggest construction company around here. Nora's 37 and handles accounting at a machine plant. We've been married 13 years and have 2 kids, a 9-year-old son and a 7-year-old daughter. Up until that awful Friday, when a random little thing blew everything apart, I actually believed we had a solid marriage. Looking back, I was a total idiot. The trouble started the Saturday before, when I had to put in extra hours at work to handle some emergencies. To make up for it, I took the next Friday off. Nora, of course, had a whole honey-do list waiting for me that day. But once the kids were off to school, I ignored her chores and figured I'd clean the house instead since we were having 2 families over for dinner that night. After vacuuming the living room, I decided to polish the mirrors inside my whiskey cabinet, to impress our guests. Inside, I keep 8 bottles of single malt from different Scottish distilleries and 6 crystal glasses. So imagine my shock when I noticed one of those glasses had been used, and it definitely hadn't been touched 2 days ago when I'd changed a burnt-out bulb in there. That didn't make sense. I never leave dirty glasses in there, which meant someone had been in my house, drinking my whiskey, while Nora and I were both at work. But who breaks into a house just to sip some scotch? I checked the doors, windows, and locks, no signs of forced entry. None of our valuables were missing either. Then it hit me, maybe Nora had come home briefly with someone. But why wouldn't she mention that? Unless, she didn't want me to know. The second that thought crossed my mind, my stomach dropped. I rushed to check our bedroom but didn't spot anything out of place. Next, I searched the spare room, and that's when things got weird. The bed looked slightly slept in, even though the last person to use it was Nora's sister, months ago. I inspected closer and found a couple of long, dark brown hairs on the pillow, and a small, dried stain right in the middle of the sheet. Heart pounding, I swapped out the sheets and pillowcase, cut out the stained section, and tossed the rest in the trash. I grabbed my magnifying glass and compared the hair from the spare room to one from Nora's hairbrush. No question, they were identical. Her sister's blonde, so it couldn't have been hers. That meant only one thing: someone had sex in that bed yesterday, and with Nora's hair on the pillow, she was definitely part of it. She'd gone to the gym last night, so she hadn't had time to fix the bed without tipping me off, not that she'd probably worried much. I never checked the spare room. If it hadn't been for that damn dirty glass, I'd still be blissfully ignorant, thinking I had the perfect marriage. Nora would never leave a glass like that, which told me the guy must have helped himself to my whiskey while waiting for her, probably without her even realizing. No way could I pretend everything was fine and host dinner with friends. I made 2 quick calls to cancel, leaving them confused, then scribbled a note for Nora and left it on the kitchen table. Nora, we've got a serious problem. Cancel dinner. We'll be gone for a while. Bo. No details, no explanation of where I was going or how long I'd be gone. But Nora wasn't stupid. Finding fresh sheets on the spare bed would clue her in fast. I booked a room at a nice hotel on the Baltic coast, threw some clothes and my laptop in a suitcase, locked up the house, turned off my phone, and drove off. At the hotel, I hit the gym, swam a few laps, then killed time at the bar after dinner. I only turned my phone on long enough to check Nora's messages. For voicemails, 2 texts, all begging me to call her back. Not a single "I'm sorry" or even fake confusion about why I'd left. So I didn't answer. Saturday was more of the same: gym, spa, another night at the bar. A gorgeous woman made it clear she was available, for a price, but I wasn't in the mood. By Sunday evening, around 6 p.m., I finally went home. The second I walked in, Nora screamed, "Where the hell have you been?" I kept my voice calm. "Who is he?" "Who the hell is who?" she shouted back. "The bastard you brought into our house Thursday. The one who drank my whiskey and fucked you in the spare room." She went quiet for a second, then tried to play dumb. "How could you even think something like that? He left a dirty glass in my cabinet. Left his DNA on the sheets. And you left your hair on the pillow. If you won't tell me his name, I'll get his DNA tested one way or another. Save your coworkers the humiliation, just admit it now. You can't just demand DNA samples from innocent people," she snapped. "Maybe I can't," I said. "But I've got friends who can. And trust me, the innocent ones will be happy to cooperate if it means proving they're clean. What happens to the cheater is your problem if he's dumb enough to test me," I said. Her face went pale. "You can't send your thugs after innocent people," she shrieked. "Your call," I shrugged. Some of my childhood friends grew up in the roughest part of town. Jail time was basically a vacation for them. They'd do this favor for me without blinking. Nora knew I wasn't bluffing. Her voice cracked. It was just a stupid one-time thing with Mike Thompson. It'll never happen again. Please, let me explain, you're overreacting." "I'm not overreacting," I said, grabbing my keys. "I'm just gonna go have a talk with that." She screamed for me to stop as I slammed the door behind me. 10 minutes later, I pulled up to Jerry's place, but Nora had warned him. Only his wife, Gabriella, was home, a knockout blonde with ice in her voice. "Jerry got a call and bolted like a scared rabbit," she said. When I told her why I'd come, she didn't even flinch. "If you've got proof, he'll be out of this house by tomorrow. It's in my name anyway." Nora confessed. "I've got DNA from the sheets," I said. "Just give me something with Jerry's DNA, and I'll test it." Gabriella handed me a snotty handkerchief from the laundry. "Here. And don't worry, I'll make sure you know how this ends." The fallout. Next morning, I filed for divorce. Nora refused to sign, sobbing like a broken faucet. That evening, Gabriella called. Jerry had confessed and was now homeless. One of her gym rat coworkers had moved in to keep him from trying anything stupid. When I told Nora Jerry was available, she didn't pack her bags like I'd expected. Just more tears, more begging. It was a mistake. Just one time. I almost caved, until Gabriella called again 2 days later with an audio file that sealed Nora's fate. The confession. Jerry's voice crackled through my phone, shaky but clear. "Yeah, Nora and I hooked up 5, 6 times. Last Thursday was the first at her place. First time was at the company Christmas party. Second time, some guy named Joel joined us for a threesome at a seminar. After that, it was just me and her. Turns out, Gabriella's favor involved my friends cornering Jerry with a taser. Took less than 5 seconds for him to spill everything. When they offered him a deal, keep his job but move 35 kilometers away, he jumped at it. I played the recording for Nora. No more tears, no more lies. She signed the papers without a word. Our kids didn't deserve this hell, but after what I'd heard, there was no going back. No matter how much I'd loved Nora, or how much part of me still did, her years of cheating and lies were too much to carry. 6 months later, I'm still a wreck. My life's a mess. I took out a second mortgage to buy her out of our house, and now, scraping by on one salary, I'm drowning in bills. Funny thing. Almost everyone involved in this disaster got what they deserved, except me. I'm the one left feeling like the biggest loser of all. Jerry? He obeyed like a scared dog. Bought a rundown place in the next town over and shacked up with some divorced woman he met online. Still blames Nora for his life going to hell, even though they both kept their jobs. They don't talk anymore. Then there's Anders Berg. Pathetic guy. Still married, but after I told his wife about his little threesome with Nora and Jerry, she gave him an ultimatum: deal with it or get out. He chose to deal with it, which means his wife now fucks her boss at least once a week, sometimes in their bed while Joel sleeps in a motel. She got a promotion and a company car out of it, so I guess she won. Even Gabriella, Jerry's ex, came out on top. That jacked-up coworker of hers never left her house, and now I'm invited to their wedding. She even offered to set me up with a date for the occasion, though I'm not holding my breath. Turns out, she was the one who wanted Jerry gone from town and asked if I could persuade him. My friends handled it, with a little financial encouragement from her, and in the process, I got the full truth about Nora and Jerry's affair. As for Nora, she moved in with Roy Bennett, a divorced loser with a reputation for beating his ex-wife. Half our friends warned her, but she didn't listen. For a while, it was fine, until she got her payout from the house and refused to hand it over for his shiny new BMW. Tony lost it. Made the mistake of putting his hands on her in front of my kids. I might have divorced Nora, but she's still their mother. And nobody hurts her without consequences. Tony learned that the hard way: broken collarbone, shattered leg, busted knee. Last I heard, he was still in a wheelchair. Nora moved out while he was in the hospital, bought herself a decent apartment in a better neighborhood. We're not friends, but we can talk about the kids now. And when she says she regrets everything, I actually believe her. The weirdest part? How fast Gabriella and Joel's wife moved on with new guys. Makes me wonder if Nora was the only one cheating. One of my buddies swears Jerry and Joel targeted her as payback because their wives were unfaithful. Who knows? All I know is, in this whole sick game, I'm the only one who didn't cheat, didn't lie, and still got screwed the hardest. Fair? Hell no. That's it for this story. If it hit home for you, drop a thumbs up or a comment, it helps more than you know. New here? Hit subscribe. I've got plenty more truth bombs where this came from. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.